Welcome to the family with
Andy Brandt Bernard.
Actually, we're going to be, Josh is going to be here in a minute. He always gets here a couple of minutes after we start. But Officer Dave's not going to be in today because he's actually patrolling today for some reason, isn't he?
He's on patrol, I believe.
I believe he's on patrol, so that's why he's not going to be on the show today. But we have a great guest coming up at the top of the hour, just about 10 minutes from right now. Gabby will talk to us from North Carolina, Samaritan.org.
Samaritan's Purse.
Samaritan's Purse?
Yes, that is the name of the thing that she
Is that, but
does.
It's Samaritan.org, isn't it?
Yes. Well, that
Samaritan.
redirects you to SamaritansPurse.org. So,
it does. Okay. SamaritansPurse.org. I want to
Yep.
get all this right. I want to get it right so we don't screw it to SamaritansPurse.org. All right.
Or possibly Samaritan's Purse.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very good.
It's probably that.
We're going to be talking a lot about North Carolina and how tough it is. The funding thing is going to be a big question I have for Gabby, because from what I understand, that even though they claim that our borders are not overrun with people coming in, we don't have any money left in FEMA because we gave it all to them. And now we don't have the money to rectify what this hurricane has done to America.
Don't forget sending it overseas.
This is some of the worst. Oh, here comes trouble.
How are you?
What are you, a Miami Dolphin fan now? Is that the plan with that shirt?
No.
See?
The Miami Dolphins, they're selling a stake to a private equity firm.
That's what I saw. They're going to sell a part of their team to a private equity firm.
Well, how much is a steak? That's like
Big dollars.
$40, right?
I think it values the Miami Dolphins at
Like $4 billion. Was it $8 billion?
$8 billion.
Holy God. And by the way, Andy, you can tell you haven't been out to a high-end restaurant in a while, because if you could buy a steak for $40, I'd be shocked.
That's true.
Honest to God, not anymore, man.
What about Mr. Steak?
Where is Mr. Steak? Mr. Steak Ponderosa is gone. Mr. Steak is gone. All those low-end steakhouses are gone. And I don't think I ever got to eat at any of them. I don't think. I think they were still too expensive for me to eat at, even though they were low end. One of those kind of deals. But yeah, we have a woman joining us at the top of the hour, maybe even a little sooner. She's down in North Carolina. And I'm really glad you're in for this interview today, because you never know what's true anymore. And it's a big problem, because what I heard on the national news 2 nights ago, I think, or maybe it was last night, is FEMA has no money to give to North Carolina because they gave it all to support immigrants coming across the border illegally. Is that true?
Have no idea. That makes, one, it makes no sense.
Yes.
But two, there is probably some truth to that.
How would we find out how much of that is true? Because apparently they're saying that the FEMA is broke. They have no money. Andy, is that the same thing you heard, that FEMA is broke?
I know that they don't have enough money to send to our own people.
I know. I mean, so you do know the same story.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Well, we have.
He goes, well,
we got a little bit of politics going on.
Yes.
And I would venture to guess that if you were to ask our Congress people here in Minnesota, or one of the two senators, or both senators, you probably could get some answer to what is true or not true, relating to whether FEMA has any money, or whether FEMA is sending anything to North Carolina.
Right.
And the devastation in North Carolina, based on the pictures.
Oh my God.
Or at least part of North Carolina.
Very, very sad.
Is worse than sad.
Yeah, worse than sad. That is a better way to put it.
I mean, I don't know whether you have been to Asheville, North Carolina.
Spent a lot of time in Asheville, North Carolina. We love Asheville. We love the Biltmore. Staying at the Biltmore down there, one of the great resort. What is that, like 20,000 acre property?
I know it is huge.
Huge.
We were down at one of the Cliffs properties.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think they have seven properties all built around golf courses. Very, I'll say, hilly, semi-mountainous,
Yep.
because
Beautiful.
you're still part of the Smoky Mountain chain.
Yep.
It is just gorgeous. A lot of small creeks that I imagine have become rivers and then some. And to see pictures of downtown Asheville,
Right.
which had been really fixed up,
Beautiful.
tremendous attraction coming in there. And you don't even know what happened because they didn't show pictures of the University of North Carolina
Right.
at Asheville.
Right.
Did not see
Right.
any pictures there. But I think they're up a little higher. But the downtown art district just flooded out.
You know what I really am getting tired of in America today? And there are a couple of headlines in the Star Tribune this morning I want to get to as well. We'll probably do that after we talk to Gabby, but people have got to stop posting things on social media that either they know is not true or they don't bother to research if it's true or not. They present it as 100% true and they have no idea if it's true or not. An example, this guy went on a rant and people were supporting him and all the, I'm glad to see that it was Asheville that got hammered. You know, that whole area is nothing but a bunch of conservative assholes and, you know, good for them. You got what you paid for. You had it coming. The University of North Carolina at Asheville, North Carolina is one of the most liberal colleges in America. Why? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but could you at least do a little research before you slam an entire university for being the exact opposite of what it really is? I mean, what is wrong with people?
Well, go back to one of the past presidential contests.
Yep.
And one of the candidates who became president, was after Joe Sixpack for
Right.
believing in his God and guns. And I'm like, what is, again, the going after somebody who is religious and has a belief in the, we'll say, Second Amendment or his right to bear arms. And I'm like, really? Really?
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was a person of the wrong color. He was the wrong sex.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
He was a non-union blue collar worker. I think he's from Pennsylvania. Okay, so why are you doing this?
I know.
You're trying to show off how elite and how smart you are, and you can look down your nose at somebody who doesn't meet your, we'll say, meet your ideal.
Right.
And I just find that we'll use your word, disgusting.
Disgusting. It is disgusting.
Because that's one of the many things that adds to the divisiveness that exists in this country. Oh, I went to college. I went to an elite college. So therefore, I'm much better than you are.
Yep.
And, okay. Now,
okay.
Good luck with that. Now, on the other hand, in this current contest, you have one vice presidential contestant who was known very well in the state of Minnesota, bragging about his bona fides. Well, I didn't go to an elite college like the other guy.
Harvard.
And I'm thinking, okay, and none of my students even got into an elite college.
Well, that's not good news, is
And I'm
it?
thinking,
It's like,
whoa,
what?
none of your students got in and or applied to an elite college? What the heck is going on there?
Why would you even want to say that?
I mean, if it makes
I don't get it. I really don't understand any
that's
of it.
that's kind of the reverse. Oh, you just didn't you were able to go to you got out of the military, you came up from a very a poor or underprivileged background.
Mhm.
You went into the military to take advantage of the GI Bill. You were able to get through the Ohio State University,
The Ohio State, absolutely.
the Ohio State University in 2.5 years, and then get into law school
Yep.
at an Ivy League place. You have to have some drive and a lot of intelligence to do that.
No
But I
question.
emphasize the drive more than anything else, and the ability to study. I think that speaks well, whether I like this guy, understand this guy or not. Hey, you're a sharp guy
No,
to
I
be able to
understand
do
that.
that.
No, you're absolutely right. Andy, what do you got cooking?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay. Just let me know when it's going to happen. We got Gabby from
Mhm.
SamaritansPurse.org going to be on with us about trying to raise funds because I don't want to go forward and say that this actually is the truth, but I've heard from a few sources now that FEMA has no money left. And a lot of it has to do, and again, I'm not saying this, I'm just repeating what I saw on the national news last night, that all of that FEMA money was used to help people coming across the border. It's our money. It's not your money. How do you think you can use our money for whatever you want to use it for?
Yep.
That's disgusting to me. Look, I don't want anybody to suffer, whether it's illegal aliens or whatever. I don't think you should be coming here or going anywhere else you're not supposed to be. But I don't understand why it is that we're just pissing away all of this money on things. Well, look at that psychopath from here that stole how much? $18 million, built like 3 houses and all that on feeding our future.
Oh, that was a whole $250 million
$250
million scam, give or take. And nobody, while this was going on,
Yeah.
nobody in government bothered to check out. I mean, this is the thing that really is irksome.
Oh, no question. Irksome's a good way to put it.
You're sending out checks during the government mandated shutdown to an organization, very nice title, feeding our future, or feeding our children,
Yep.
that prior to the COVID shutdown operated or with no more than $1 million. And all of a sudden you're writing bigger and bigger checks.
Yep.
And people are claiming, well, we're feeding 5,000 children. Well, I ran a kitchen at a summer camp for 6 years.
Yeah.
And this was many decades ago. And I know what my food budget was to feed 500 people for, 500 people a day, 3 meals a day.
Right.
And the number of people I needed to employ to get that food out. Now, here and how much food was coming in. Now here you have 5,000 people that they're purported to feed. Nobody, 5,000 meal or 5,000 meals. That's a lot of meals.
A lot of meals.
And nobody bothered to drive the 5 or 10 miles from St. Paul to Minneapolis to check out.
I know.
What do you have? A warehouse? How many trucks do you have that's sent out? Can we see your kitchen? and how many people are you actually employing?
Not a bad idea.
Okay. Turns out there were no.
None.
There was no employees. There was no kitchens. There were no trucks. There was just money sent.
And it's our money. It is not the government's money. It is our tax money. Why do they think they can just hand it out to anybody they wish to hand it out? It's disgusting.
Well, I'm not going to disagree at all.
Yeah, no one's stopping them.
I mean, it's, well, the only way to stop that is change who you're voting for,
Yeah.
which is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to change the people or the departments that are handling this, or put certain restrictions on how the money is dispensed. Oh, you're sending money to this particular group. Can we go see your operation?
Absolutely.
It's not that difficult.
Nope.
Now I know, a lot of those people who may work in government, may have trouble commuting to some of these places because there is no public train, and they might have to walk and or take a bike.
Yeah, there you go.
And they might have to do this in the winter, get on their bike and go down the bike lanes, because there's not going to be much in the way of car traffic on certain spots.
Why isn't it absolutely true that there's somebody watching over the taxpayers' money instead of just pissing it away however you feel like doing it? How did we ever get to that? Or have we always been at this point?
I think so.
We just hand over the taxpayers' money.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
I just don't understand what it's our money we give you every year, and you can't handle it. You don't control where it goes. You're just terrible at that job. I don't get it.
Well, that's one of, I think Ronald Reagan had this to say.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the worst words around. We're from the government, and we're here to help you.
To help you.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. That's so sad.
And there are many things. We're from the government, and we can run certain these programs. And I've always heard this little joke. Well, first you have to run the DMV,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can do that, then maybe we'll get something else going.
Right.
And I know that the DMV, might take a little heat, with that. But
Mhm.
I do have a little beef. Just speaking of that.
Oh, you do?
I've got just a little beef. Could you please tell me? Now you have this enhanced driver's license,
Yes.
which will allow you to get on an airplane without and travel around and without necessarily needing a passport, because there's extra pictures or security on this particular driver's license. It's not like the regular driver's license. It's enhanced. And it's been the time that everybody has to have that has been continues to get pushed forward. But when I've asked about this particular driver's license, well, what do I need to get this? Can I not just, here's my license, I'll pay an extra fee to get the new license?
Mhm.
No. You have to show passport, birth certificate or copy of birth certificate,
Oh, my God.
social security card, the original social security card, a W-2 form, and some other proof of identification.
That'd be nice.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Here's my picture ID that you provided. Why do I need all these other forms of identification to get an enhanced card? If I brought my passport, that's a government issue. Here it is. Here's my passport, which I've provided some other things, plus my driver's license. Why do I need all these other things.
And what did they say to you?
That's the rules.
Oh, that's
our
their only argument.
rules. Okay,
Okay,
5
okay.
pieces of identification to get this new thing.
Getting a little frustrated, are you?
I'm a little frustrated with
I can
that.
understand that. I want to run something by you guys, and of course, when we do hear from Gabby, just let me know, Andy. All right.
Yeah, she said they had to take the generators down for maintenance, so she might not get Wi-Fi today.
Oh,
but
that's
we'll
too
see.
bad. Okay, well, if they don't, they don't. We can get her back on next week. Probably be best if Catherine, your mom, was on with her anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, Monday would be the best day.
Yeah, it would be. So if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That's cool. But I want to run something by the audience and you guys as well. I'm getting really, really, really sick of the hatred in the world, not just in America. The world is more filled with hate now than it ever has been, which shows you there's been some success somewhere, because it's so funny to me that hatred comes from success for some people, which I don't really understand. But you got people running around. They don't even bother to find out if what they're saying is true. I hate you because this, and this. Well, that's not true. Well, yes, it is. Well, all you have to do is check. You will see it's not true. How can you hate somebody for doing something you can't even prove they did? What happened to us as human beings that we've gotten this weak mentally to believe what we want to believe, not we believe what's true?
You're looking at a computer. No, I'm very serious. You're looking at a computer.
I'm looking at a picture on a computer.
Okay,
Yes.
You're looking at a picture on a computer, but if I look at some other device that you have,
Mm-hmm.
You look at that device a lot, or a lot of people look at their devices a lot.
They do. Yep.
They look at those devices, and they'll tap into something. Let's say they tap into Twitter.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and they tap in your name, Tom Bernard. I want to see what Tom Bernard has said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tom Bernard has said whatever you've said, and well, we disagree with these points,
Right.
and we're going to write something nasty about Tom Bernard, and we start having an adverse relationship, and that person knows nothing about you,
Right.
other than something you might have tweeted.
Right.
They don't know anything about you, or why or why not you've put that on, and that gets spread. Other people are seeing that,
no doubt. Yes.
and that starts expanding. And then Twitter starts feeding that person more negative points about you, and now that person is hooked on that particular view. So it's not looking for education or anything. It's just, we're getting more feed based on the algorithm. Hate Tom.
Right.
And now all these people who've never met you, don't know anything about you,
Mm-hmm.
or even why you posted what you did, hate you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's this huge hate that goes on, and it's constantly being fed. If I go to another, now Twitter is now privately owned, and it generates money, primarily through advertising or certain subscriptions.
Right.
And there's plenty of good things that go on Twitter, but if you if you start getting your news from Twitter, it can only be one-sided. It's not, unless you yourself go and look for news from the other side or another viewpoint.
Right.
If I go to Facebook, it's similar type stuff. Very few people, as time has gone on, are looking to make contact face to face.
Oh, they have no interest in that at all. Yeah, you're right.
And very few people will pick up a phone and
You're right.
talk something. It's all, I'm going to text you, or I'm going to send you an email. And it becomes very impersonal. And when things are impersonal, we'll say that hate, can build up. On top of that, if you watch, you can now pick the type of news you want to watch. I'm only going to watch Fox.
Right.
I'm only going to watch MSNBC or CNN as examples.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking to somebody that only watches MSNBC or CNN, and you say, and you say, oh, I got this piece of news. And they say, oh no, where'd you get that? Well, I was watching something on Fox. Oh, well, you can't trust Fox. Fox has proven to be false. Everything on Fox is proven to be false. It's no good. There is nothing true that comes off of Fox.
Okay.
Well, so the only truth that comes on is from MSNBC or CNN. Well, yes, because Fox is proven to be, there's nothing on Fox that is true. Well, okay, there are very few people. There's no Walter Cronkite,
Right.
Edgar R. Murrow, Huntley and Brinkley. Here's the news, and we don't know what they cut out, but here's the news. You make it. We're just telling you the news. You make your own decision. And if there was some editorial, they would pause and say, this is my opinion. Here it is. So now what you have on a lot of stations, if you actually drill down, it's not news.
No, not at all.
It is all opinion.
It is. Yep.
And I'm not going to, I'm not going to say that what I've seen here, these are my opinions based on my understanding of news that I have read or information that I have gathered. So this is my opinion, since I'm in the investment business. This is my opinion on what's going on in the economy, what's going on with these particular stocks, what may or may not be going on with the Federal Reserve, and how I'm interpreting it, and how it may affect the investment decisions that I make for myself and for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I invest in the same things that I recommend to my clients. So, but that's I'll say very few people, when they're looking at, we'll say, CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, realize this is an opinion production, not an actual news production. And you can see the difference, we'll say, when CNN reads, here's the news, followed by a panel discussion, or Fox has got, somebody periodically, here's the news and here's our panel discussion. So you're not getting as much news unless you're watching, we'll say, local news.
Yeah, local news is much better. It's much better. Yep.
Or you're watching the Weather Channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty hard to lie about the weather.
Okay, and even if you were to watch ESPN and Sports Center,
right?
Okay, here's the score. Here's my interpretation of the score, and we're going to bring in Andy to discuss my interpretation versus his interpretation, and we might have a couple interviews of people on why this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing just shocks me. Well, let me read to you two headlines here.
Okay.
Everything's going great, and there's no more people coming across the border. You turn the channel, there's nothing but people coming across the border. Well, they can't both be true. Okay, maybe neither one of them is true. Maybe it's not as many as they say. Whatever. Our politicians and our news services are going, national news services, not so much local, but some local too, are going out of their way to piss everyone off. They want everybody pissed off right now because pissed off people are easier to control. If you lie to somebody who's already pissed off, they're going to want to believe what they want to believe. That's just how it is. But here's the problem with that whole thing. If the youth of America is viewing this and everybody's wondering, why is this going on? Well, because we have the internet now, and 10-year-olds go on the internet now. Here's a headline from Minneapolis, Minnesota in the Star Tribune this morning. Police arrest 10-year-old, say he drove a stolen vehicle through a crowded Minneapolis playground. This is a 10-year-old trying to kill other children, right?
Right.
Okay. How does a 10-year-old get to that point? Because I grew up in a very tough neighborhood and nobody ever wanted to run children over with their mom or dad's car. Why are we building this hatred for one another just so the very wealthy can make even more money? Because that's what it's always about money, right? Votes are money. They're not really votes. It's money for these politicians. It's all they care about, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Same as it ever was.
well, I think a lot of politicians do have some altruistic views.
Yeah, maybe.
But yes, if you want to influence the vote, you make a donation to the campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can. There were some limits that what individuals could do in terms of how much you can contribute to any campaign or one candidate. An individual,
Right.
you personally can only
Right.
give
Right.
so much to a candidate, and the purpose behind that is to reduce corruption and or influence. However, you can start the Bernard Political Action Committee.
Oh, let's get that going.
Okay, and now you can raise a lot of money, and now you have your Political Action Committee makes contributions of larger sums
Mm-hmm.
to different candidates. So now the candidate says, oh, we've gotten all this money. We're going to listen to the executive director of the Bernard Political Action Committee.
That'd be you, wouldn't it? You'd be the director.
No, I'm not.
I
not a
no,
politician.
I'm
No,
not.
no.
No.
I have enough on my plate.
Yeah.
But and now the political action committees, have an outsized influence
Mm-hmm.
on how candidates are chosen, and even what these officials, have, we'll say, allegiance to. Even though they say, we're for the people. Okay, you're for the people. Wonderful. You're supposed to be for the people.
Yeah, I would think. Yes, that would be nice.
That's why you got into politics, is to be for the people, to have make a mark on some policy that is important to the people.
Right.
How about, we'll say, the economy or jobs, putting food on the table, educating my children, and making sure that my health is or I have access to good health care.
Yes, right.
And part of access to good health care or being healthy is you're going to keep crime down and make it easy for people to get around, and maybe have some other benefits like good parks
Mhm.
for recreation. That's not too much to ask.
No, I would not think so. As a matter of fact, Andy brought he and Melissa brought their kids over a couple of days ago, and watching the almost 3-year-old Ethan run around those parks and all that, it was marvelous just to see it happen. And then they came. Well, that was what, on Saturday, Andy, when you did that a week ago. It was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you guys came over again a couple of days ago because he said he wanted to go see Nana and Bop Bop. So they brought him over. Had a wonderful night, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what, to me, life is supposed to be all about. You want to be nice to people, help other people out, you know, maybe not piss everyone off. Well, like I said, police arrest 10-year-old saying he drove stolen vehicle through crowded Minneapolis playground. This is a 10-year-old. The story right under that one. Redwood Falls police say Edina man armed with a rifle set up an ambush to kill them. A guy from Edina goes to Redwood Falls. That's not exactly close, is it?
No.
I mean, why would a guy from Edina, if you live in Edina, you're probably doing okay if you live in Edina. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most
Edina
part.
has a pretty diverse population.
But this guy from Edina is so pissed off, he's going to drive all the way to Redwood Falls to kill somebody with a rifle. What the hell is going on in this world? Those stories are right on top of one another. I mean, those are two horrendous stories. A 10-year-old doesn't say how old the guy is from Edina, but just the fact that he's from Edina, you're not supposed to shoot people if you're from Edina.
No.
It's not supposed to happen.
No, from people from Edina, it's one of those things like the vice president of the United States who's running for president
Yes.
said on Oprah Winfrey, "If you break into my house, I will shoot you. I have a gun."
Right.
Thinking, now, if Donald Trump were to say that,
Oh, God, you'd never hear the end of it.
it's like, Donald, oh my goodness, take away his gun. What I'm thinking, wait a minute, what is the difference there?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, it's okay for one group to say, if you break into my house, I will shoot you. But the other group says, I want to have a gun so that if you break into my house, I can defend myself. And that's not okay. But we'll go back to forget that's a little off the subject.
Right.
But I have a question here. Well, which is, why would anybody, I'll agree with you, why would anybody from Edina want to go to Redwood Falls?
To kill someone.
What?
What?
That's one of those things where here's the padded cell, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll lock the door and wait for you to calm down. As to the 10-year-old in the city,
Yeah.
who is leaving their keys.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Who is leaving the keys in the car?
Yep.
And the car unlocked for this kid to
10-year-old.
10-year-old to
Yeah.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or he is emulating an older sibling who he has seen
True.
do this. Because an awful lot of we'll say, carjackings or car thefts have been done recently, or at least since, we'll say, since COVID, have been done by young teens.
Yeah. Yep.
Or teens and younger. And there it is. Here is some 10-year-old emulating, and I'm guessing driving into the playground, he had he had no idea what to do to stop
Yeah, probably.
the car, and that might have been near his neighborhood.
Yeah, I would think so. That's probably
and then,
true.
And then you go, so where were the parents in that particular case? Did not the parents teach their children, here's what we do, here's what we don't do?
Right. No, that's exactly right. Andy, was that a call back from them?
That's not going to work today.
Okay, that's fine. So I think, to be honest, are they amenable to being on Monday?
Yeah, we're going to try again on Monday.
Okay, that sounds good. Because it'd be great to have Catherine here anyway, because she's the one who set the whole thing up in the first place. But yeah, her name is Gabby. She's from SamaritansPurse.org. Gabby from North Carolina, talking about what happened in North Carolina. I did want to find out, would you do some research on that, Andy? Is it true that we don't have any FEMA money to help out the people in North Carolina?
Well, yeah, the mayor already said that.
So the mayor
the
did
governor
say
or whoever it was.
they don't have any FEMA money because they gave it away to people coming across the border illegally.
No money left.
Is that true? That's where the money went? Because you got to check everything.
I know that they spent about $1 billion on that. Yes.
$1 billion. And now we can't help people. The number's over what? Like 300 people have died now or something?
I think it's 200 something.
It's 200 something, but they think it's going to go way up in the hundreds somewhere.
Well, I mean,
We can't find them.
North Carolina is the one that got hit worst, right?
Yeah, pretty much around Asheville.
Let's see,
Which is
10.7 million people. I mean, how many of what percentage of the population would you guess was impacted by the hurricane? Like maybe 10% of them, 20%?
Yeah, 10 to 20, probably.
Yeah, so $1 billion, that's an additional like $1,000 per person that they could have had. But
that would help.
Mm-hmm.
That would help a lot, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I don't really understand what I want to know, and maybe it'd be best if I heard it from the President of the United States. Why does the government think it could just take our tax money and put it wherever they want to?
Because they can. No one's stopping them.
Why do we allow this? I just don't understand that either. You know?
Talk to your congressperson.
Like, who is my congressperson?
People are
I don't
voting
even
for
know
this.
anything.
They want it.
They want our money to be given away,
Yes,
so you
they
can't help
do.
people whose houses have been destroyed, and their kids have died, their parents have died,
Yep.
and there's no way to help them. You think that's a good thing?
No,
Huh?
they don't care.
Unbelievable. All right, I better get off that subject, or I'll get really pissed off.
Well, Gabby's going to try StreamYard now.
Oh, she is?
Yeah,
we
she said
really
their
got-
Wi-Fi looks okay, but their phones don't work very well. So we'll see if she can get on it.
You've got a very difficult situation just because of the terrain in that part of
No question about it.
of North Carolina, and that type of terrain extends up into North Carolina. You got it extend up into Tennessee.
Mhm.
I mean, there are many parts of the country that have very spotty, we'll say, Wi-Fi service,
Yeah, yep.
cellular phone service, TV reception, et cetera.
Yeah.
That's one of the that's cable reception. I mean, you can even look just here in the Twin Cities. There are a lot of places that cell phone reception, Wi-Fi reception is minimal at best.
You're right. Yeah.
And here, if you really push, now here, either private enterprise and or government, why is this not pushed so that people have adequate ways for communication? Because that right now is necessary.
All right.
Oh my God, you are appearing.
We got it.
You got it
I
all
think
set
so.
up. Jody, how is everything?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Marvelous. Is there any chance that we could do about 10 minutes here, and then would you mind coming back on Monday? Because I would love for you to be back on the same time with Catherine, my wife, who set this up in the first place.
Sure.
Look at that Samaritan's Purse shirt she's wearing, ladies and gentlemen. Jody, I'm really glad you were on. Jody is talking about SamaritansPurse.org. I don't know. The whole thing is just so sad. Is it true that they do not have funding to help the people of North Carolina because they gave it away to other people?
I'm not sure about that part. Samaritan's Purse is on the ground here, assisting in Western North Carolina and throughout the Southeast where Hurricane Helene struck. We are setting up disaster relief areas where we're taking out volunteers to mud out houses. We're taking down trees from residential areas and roadways to get into them. We're tarping roofs. We do have a field hospital set up in Western North Carolina for some emergency triage to supplement the hospital. We have oxygen tents that are set up in Watauga County, the Boone area, to help with those homeowners who may have run out of oxygen. And at any given time, they have 4 to 6 people in those tents. We did do something new just starting today or yesterday. We did set up a water filtration system in the Swannanoa area close to Asheville, and that can provide up to 10,000 people water. And we do have 2 more that are ready to go in this area if needed.
You know, what's so amazing is that I don't think it's a coincidence because Catherine and I do travel quite a bit, but Catherine and I have spent a lot of time in Asheville, North Carolina. It's one of our favorite places to go. It's beautiful there. The people could not be friendlier. What they did with that Biltmore property, and it isn't like 20,000 acres, something like that.
It's very
Oops, did we lose her?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
still pretty bad.
Why don't we just have her back on Monday because I do want to get into all that stuff. But yeah, just ask her to come back on Monday, okay, Andy?
Jody, can you hear us?
yes,
Okay, yeah.
Is Monday going to be okay, Jody?
yes.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks so much for your time
perfect.
today, but we'll talk to you on Monday on the same time. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, they're using satellite internet from like RVs and stuff, so it's going to be
Okay. Well,
not extremely reliable.
but
Well, I'm just listening to her. Here's all the stuff that they have done. This is a private enterprise,
right.
not the government. This is a private enterprise, or say private nonprofit.
Yes.
But
Yep.
this organization has got to be pretty big and or have a lot of influence and able to get a lot of volunteers to do what she's been talking about, setting up a field hospital,
Right.
setting up a water filtration or water purification system.
Yeah, I know. Isn't
I
that
mean,
great?
I mean, I'm just looking and or just saying that's a lot of people and a lot of equipment that you've got to move into this area and done very, very quickly. So how big is this organization? I've never heard of this.
Well, you can come on Monday if you be on the same time if you want, because I'm
This organization. That's just, fascinating.
Catherine's really good about that stuff. She got on the horn and she just decided I'm going to get this thing set up. And yeah, she's really good at. Well, she's kind of an aggressive woman, don't you think, Catherine?
Well, in order to be married to you for
oh, thank you.
What is this? 40 years?
40 years of marriage. 44 years we've been together. Yep.
Okay, 40 years of marriage. Yeah, she's had to be that way just to keep up.
I suppose that's true.
And or keep you in line, one or the other.
Oh, she's very good at keeping me in line. There's no question about that.
We have a caller
The caller's from where?
from Tire Carver Land.
Tire Carver, how you doing? Oh, you can see it right over my head, can't you? The KB1, KB2 for in 24 T-shirt.
Yes, you sure can.
I'll have to look at that later. I listened to a podcast earlier this morning from a bunch of NASCAR drivers that are taking their personal helicopters. And for the first week of relief, they were flying smaller ones in because, everybody's bitching about the military not being able to get their helicopters in.
Right.
They're too big.
Right.
There's not enough room to get Chinooks or even, the Apaches in there because they're too big and have too much prop wash that what's precariously right outside the landing zone would just get blown away. So at one point, there were 50 private helicopters that were being coordinated by just themselves, flying in supplies and then flying out people that needed medical help. And they're to the point now where they're got to fly in where they need the military stuff because they got to fly in like side-by-side ATVs or even just bigger Broncos and 4x4 vehicles. The one guy that they were talking to flew medical supplies in and was getting ready to fly like 4 people out to a hospital. And they're going, hey, our friends are up, half a mile from here, but the road is gone between us.
Oh, God.
If I get up there in an hour and a half and clear a zone, can you come in and land? And what the people were doing privately would clear an area and with red paint or red whatever would put a big circle with an X in it, like, here's your safe landing zone.
Oh, God.
And these people made it up to the next, little town and cleaned off an area. And he went like four spots in the same day, just going up the mountain to, get in more water, get in more insulin and, a couple generators or whatever he could carry in and getting people out. And it was like, holy crap, this is the stuff that nobody talks about. All you hear is, oh, the military can't get in. Well, yeah, because they don't have any equipment to clear enough spots big enough to get them in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. As a matter of fact, I really, really wish someone would step up and go, we cannot allow this to happen again, where we gave away money that was in place to help these people, but we don't have it anymore because we decided to buy people's votes with it.
Of course.
Disgusts me. I mean, it's just disgusting how the pigs that our politicians are, no question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when you coming by with the ice cream, pal?
Well, if you quit moving, I could figure out which place you live at.
Oh,
and go there.
We'll close the show with this. We got 3 minutes left and we'll close the show. You're going to love this tire carver because you've been in studio many times. So you've met Catherine Brandt.
Mm-hmm.
So Catherine decided about 5 months ago, we were going to sell our house and we're going to move. So we found the place that, she wanted to move to. And I went, yep, it's great. No question about it. So we move in, we're in there about 2 weeks and they said, oh, another unit came available as of the end of October, and it has a little bit of a lake view. And would you rather live there? She goes, yeah, we'll move there. Last night, yesterday, I said, okay, so when are we going to move in? And she goes, oh, we're not moving in that one anymore. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, the biggest unit in the building just came open, so we're going to move there. I said, when are we doing that? She goes, Friday, today. We're moving 3 times in 2 months, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving.
Have fun, Tom. Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna be going up and down the hall with a go-kart or something. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but yeah, 3 times in 2 months we're gonna move. Okay. This is gonna do it, Catherine. I hope you know that.
Time she starts paying for movers.
Oh, we have to pay for the movers. There's no doubt about that.
Well, that's why you're not having to do anything.
Oh, I have to do a lot. Believe me, there's a lot to do, but all right,
Always
buddy.
is.
Well, thank you for your call. And hopefully we'll see you in studio again one of these days. You come in once a year. We'd love to see you.
Sooner or later, I got to start making caramels, so I'll definitely make it in there.
Oh, love it. That sounds
Alrighty.
good. Thanks, pal.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing words, fellas?
Some positive things here.
I liked it. Good.
Positive thing. Jobs number came out today. A lot more jobs, a lot more people working than had been anticipated. 254,000 new jobs.
Okay.
Versus 150,000 estimated, and the jobs number was revised upward, not downward, from last month. The unemployment number went down from 4.2% to 4.1%. So job and wages went up a little bit. So the likelihood, we'll say, of a recession, and I've heard calls for a recession, have gone down. On top of that, the longshoremen on the East Coast who yesterday or the day before said, "We will cripple you," which is true because if you can't get goods in,
Right.
that's going to hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
They decided that they would tentatively settle. They're getting a 61.5% wage increase. They were looking for a 77% increase over the length of their next contract, which is about 6 years. So that has been settled now between now and January 15th. They'll work on the other parts of the contract. So that is a big plus for, we'll say, for our economy, getting that settled. And the administration is very excited. See what happens with collective bargaining. We don't have to force anybody to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, well, let's see. Having that settled prior to the election, there you go. There's another. And of course, these guys striking right before an election, that kind of adds to it. Now, the next worry, at least for the stock market, because the price of oil has moved up on concerns that Israel may retaliate against the Iranian bombardment by disrupting their oil refineries and other oil terminals, which could boost the price of oil and make oil less available. However, that may happen, and that there's some worries that could happen over the weekend. Don't know. Or Israel could attack some nuclear facilities, and I have read that there are many in Israel who are calling and saying, "This is our time. Here's the opportunity that we can change the dynamic in the Middle East."
Right.
And some of that, would prove to be positive, particularly if the Israelis were able to do something to stop the Iranians' nuclear capabilities,
Right.
which is not to power anything, but to wreak havoc.
Nice closer.
Nice and positive, just like you said.
Well, I'm just looking. I have to. The SEC says I have to be fair and balanced in my talking.
That's
so
true.
the positive is the longshoremen have come to a tentative agreement, which is good for our economy. There are more people here working, also good for the economy. The negative, and that's positive overall for the stock market. The negative is the price of oil could go up due to tensions in the Middle East.
Right.
And I'm not so sure that diplomacy on that one is necessary to work.
Boy, look at the time. All right, we'll talk to you next week, pal.
You'll talk to me next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot. We will talk to you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear the sing, reminds me how you talking.